Okay, good morning. I think this is great. I mean, I'd love to just let this continue all day because we haven't seen each other in such a long time. We're going to get started. We hope we have an engaging meeting for you this day. So uh, get yourself some coffee, have a seat, relax. Please, speak with your friends. It's great to be back. God knows how long we'll get this window where we can actually do it. So our team has presented, a really interesting day for you, and I'm going to go over some of the hospitality items right now. But first and foremost, wake up. Happy to see you. Thank goodness you're all here, and we're really, really happy to see everybody again. So what have we been doing? I mean, we thought we'd start out the day just reflecting on the past 2 years of COVID and all the things we had to do as a group to try to make this continue to work. And I think I'll get to the point and say it has worked and it's been amazing. So I thought we would just kind of give you a high level overview. Sometimes when you're in your own institution, you don't realize how much is actually being done by you and everybody else in this collaborative. So I just wanted to point that out. Remember when we pivoted over to COVID, we did a lot of things right on the fly, literally within days of the announcement. We started with this town hall series. So we had actually 6 grand round virtual town halls with your help to, address some of the issues that our EDs face in terms of like PPE preservation and how to treat our patients. We had that happen in short order between March and May. All of these recorded ones are up on our website. The other things that are happening at the coordinating center level, you see a lot of new faces on Zoom, but we've never met each other in person. So this is the first day. So we've added 4 people, and you're going to meet them in person. I know you've talked to them either in email or on Zoom meetings, but we've got 4 new staff members. Katie Garnachia, who's one of my CES nurse colleagues, who joined our group. Susie Saylor, who just had a baby, is not here today. She's part of the data system, and Katie does a lot of our quality work. And Patty Brink, who's also a nurse, who's helping with Carrie Smith and the abstraction team and training, and Christian Seiler, who is one of our data statisticians and help with our data analytics. So Christian's not here today, but all the others are. So please reach out and say hi to them and remove the email non-face. There's 2 new clinicians in our group. We have one here, Dr. Courtney Maggins, who is one of my colleagues, pediatric emergency medicine at Michigan Medicine, and she's going to help us with some of the academic and scholarly work on the pediatric data that we are collecting. So we'll welcome Courtney, and you'll hear a little bit more from her today, but if you haven't met her, please reach out and say hello. The other physician is an adult emergency physician, Dr. Chris Fung, who's also a U of M adult emergency physician. And he's kind of an amazing data visualization guy. So you'll notice some of the reports that you're seeing now on our Tableau platform are largely his doing. And so some of the things that just make sense with one click. We were visiting Munson yesterday. They already pointed it out. I was like, these are pretty good. And then we've had things going on personally in the coordinating center. We got 2 babies. We're populating the future of medic, administration here. So we've got little Luna Stone, which is Allison's baby, and little Theo Hinken, which is Susie Saylor's baby. So congratulations. So we've also added a lot of you. So literally in the past year, we've really increased our membership by about 30%. So some of you are here for the first time to a meeting, and we have never seen you in person. So if you are one of our legacy members, please reach out and welcome the new people, new faces. You might know the clinicians, you might not know the abstractors, but we have a lot of new faces here and new systems, so we're really excited about that. We have unfortunately lost a couple of people too. There's been, things that have happened because of COVID, and financial aid institutions are always under stress, and now we're being overrun by, patients again. So we've had a total of 7 EDs, but they are represented by 3 institutions within Medic that unfortunately had to step away. So Hurley, Beaumont, and DMC. And then because of all this upheaval, there's a lot to keep track of. We've had changes in physician organizations and contacts between institutions, the names of the physician groups that have contracted with ED hospitals, systems change their names. So this is a lot to keep track of. So anytime you think you get a name change or a new contact, please help us help you and tell us about it. So Michigan Medicine, Henry Ford has changed their names. There's a lot of new kind of nomenclature we want to make sure we get right for you. So A couple of things we did. We got a new side hustle. We are now video production agents, as you remember. And a lot of that came with some of the headaches. I hope it was. I hope it was in general good without too many faux pas. But this is just a little bit of something behind the scenes, what it's like. Trying to be the anchorman behind some of these productions. We didn't know what we were doing when we started, and we're better at it now. But anyway, got a retirement job in video production, I guess. During the pandemic and throughout those years, we had some amazing speakers. I mean, the nice and the good and bad and silver lining is people didn't have to travel, but they could speak at our meeting. So if you remember any of these, Jeff Klein talked about PE, and Simon Mailer talked about chest pain, and Esther Sampaio helped us with pediatric asthma. Janae Caldoun was the Michigan, point person for COVID. Mike Englesby oversees all of the CQIs, and so he really was able to give us some high-level perspective of where we're going and what we're doing in the future. And Jeff Barnes talked a little bit more about coagulation. So at any rate, terrific group of people and more to come. So I'll put in a plug right now. We're going to have Dr. Todd Florin in the spring, who's going to talk to us about some pediatric pneumonia and pulmonary problems. So we have had a huge undertaking. As you know, you can see our new registry dashboard face. We moved to the new vendor. We now have a Tableau interface for you. It was literally a 20-month process to get this moving because we had a lot of data points. We're talking about millions, right? Over 7 million data points now, encounters, and growing rapidly because of the new people here. So that's a lot to move over, make sure we get right, and try to troubleshoot. If there's something in our data that you're seeing that seems like a mistake or a problem, please raise your hand and tell us about it, because I think we've got a lot of the bugs worked out, but we're always listening. So please make sure if you're seeing something that doesn't make sense to you or doesn't seem right. We have a lot of new reports, and I think that's the biggest exciting news for you, because we want to try to help you do something with your data. We know you're busy. We know you have a bunch of data systems to look at in your own institution. We're trying to make reports that mean something to you. So that's one of the reasons we brought Chris Fung onto our team to really help, visualize that stuff in an easy, digestible format. So now there's over 60. So we're going to do a little bit of show and tell today with Tableau to bring that to your attention. So thankfully, the big hurdle I think is over, but we still have more to do. So we've retired 2 quality initiatives in the time period since we last met. And one was a pediatric weight measure. We had been collecting it, but we really hadn't designed a module to be able to do something with that. And then the CT overuse. So that was the lowest risk kids CT use. We kind of did as much as we could with that. We're still working on a little bit more, but we've retired these. We've also built some new modules. Building a new module seems like it's the easy thing. You take a paper, you take evidence, and you just shove it in the registry, and off it goes. That's kind of not how it happens, but at any rate, it takes a lot of heads in the room to get these right, to make sure the translation is seamless. So, we created a safe discharge for adult with low risk chest pain, time to steroids. We moved from a just discharge measure to a more of a process measure that clinicians felt like they could get behind. And then now we're working on opioid use and naloxone distribution. So that's a big thing. It's a big impact, and we know it affects a huge population in all of our EDs. So we're doing a bunch of things on that. So our great crack team has opened up. We have our own Twitter account, and we have our own YouTube account. So I know that if you haven't had time to check those out, you should. Or if you've got a soundbite that you want us to blast off, something that you've done either within your institution or at your site, please let us know. And Megan is the queen of our Twitter account, so we will get it done and get your some fanfare for you. So we've got the toolkits. They're on the website, and so we spend a lot of time. Every single module we have help for clinicians at your fingertips. They're not behind firewall. You don't need your password. It's literally there. So you can take a look. There's things you can post in your ED an hour from now. So you don't have to do any work, but there's also teaching points, PowerPoint you can download. You can show it to your medical director or CEO. So it's there. Please take advantage of them. So this is our agenda for the day. So after I get done talking here, I'm going to turn it over to Keith, but we're going to just do a reset on what are our quality measures and what are we trying to do, just because we have a lot of new faces in the room. We're going to do some strategic updates, talk a little bit more from the abstractor point of view. Quality, assure that our abstractors are all on the same page. We want to make sure that everybody is doing that. We'll talk a little bit about P4P and VBR, and then have some QI interventions, and also do a scavenger hunt and chest X-ray using KDDs, which are otherwise key driver diagrams, talk a little bit about toolkit, and then move on to intervention templates. So the afternoon will be more show and tell and get you involved. And then we hope to close by 3. Disclosures, just Keith has some grant support from SAMHSA and MDHS for his opioid work. The rest of us have nothing to disclose. At every single meeting, we usually go over at a very high level, how are we doing? And this slide represents that. You'll see it at every meeting. And basically, it's a year over year. These are all of our quality measures. At the end, where you see 2022, that is current state until July. And the reason for July, remember, we all, we don't know, we still have things populating our registry. But if it's in green, we're doing good. If it's in red, we have room for improvement. So on all of our quality measures so far, we're doing pretty well. We need a little bit more work on intermediate head injury for kids. And we also need a little bit of work on the suspected PECT use. So, and remember, some of the quality measures, the directionality is important, like up might be better or lower might be better. So pay attention to that. So this is what our current dashboard looks like. This is what you see when you log in. And if you want to, from a collaborative, I remember we have targets that are collaborative wide. Sometimes they're site specific. So this is P for P. So what we want to be is in the green. So this is head injury appropriateness, and we look like we're doing well as a team so far. Our target is greater than or equal to 57%, and we're there so far. So we look like we're on track. And then for intermediate and pediatric head injury, again, this is P target. We look like we're pretty on track for that. The goal is less than or equal to 18%. So for VBR, again, these are the trend lines. It ends at the end of June 22nd, or June 2022 is the last piece of data we have. And we look like we're on track for VBR for all in for head injury. And so similarly for pediatric intermediate risk CT use, we are also in the green. So that's what you really came to learn too, is like, how are we doing as a group to get our incentives? And so far, so good.